Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to this game that I've totally never played on the channel before. Have I, Phil?
Oh, it's this game. Oh, God. I haven't seen this game before. What do you do? How do you play
So,
it? Who
basically,
knows?
ladies
No
and
one knows.
gentlemen, you've come to the right channel. We're going to start a new series on this game called Sir You're Being Hunted, and we're going to
Oh,
do,
let's play it right from the
yeah.
beginning. Here is
So,
episode one.
indeed. So, so many people obviously don't know what this game is about. It's about robots that are hunting you down. You've got to survive after you got chucked into another world, and it's very weird. You
Oh,
go
there we
between
go. End of story.
islands. Yeah, there
Thank
you
you.
go.
Good night.
Indeed, that's it. No, welcome back to Sir, everyone. And Phil's joining me, as you probably couldn't tell just by then, even though he
Yes,
was
I
just
am.
speaking.
The last time we did some interesting tips and tricks, didn't we, on car buying,
Yes, we did.
which was fun. So everyone's hopefully understands how the process of buying cars went, and
Yes, how it
hopefully found our
works.
tips useful. Yeah.
Yeah, they find our tips very useful indeed, Phil. I'm just sort of speaking on their behalf. I don't actually know.
I don't
Um,
actually know. Well, unless they made a comment, who knows?
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I didn't actually check before we started recording this episode or anything like that. Well, there you go. So I also shall say if my voice sounds like I'm a bit stuffy up the old nose and all that, it's because I've got a little bit of a cold, but not too severe. It's just a little bit of a congested nose, that's all. But other than that, I'm feeling all right. I took a sachet of cold and flu
Oh,
medicine
did you? Oh,
earlier.
helping out.
Yes, so
We are in the world of Sir Being Hunted, and nothing better as
indeed,
Den of Thieves make their way for the reinvented. God
indeed.
only knows when that's going to come.
Yeah, no idea. But yeah. All right. So how you doing, Phil? How's life treating you at the moment?
Well, yes,
Perfect
that.
answer. There you
Yeah,
are.
no. Yeah, just fine. I mean, we're on the run up to Christmas now,
Yeah, pretty much.
so it's gonna be Christmas very soon, which will be nice. We always so it's time to start thinking about what presents to get the old family,
Yes.
and then yeah, got to sort of consider things like that, and
Yeah.
it's always a nice time. It's the Christmas period.
Sorry, I just burped. I got gas from my tea just then. I apologise for
Don't
my
think anyone heard. I
uncouth.
don't think
No.
anyone heard because I was probably talking over it.
Yeah,
So
you probably were. I don't think anyone heard at all. It's a very soft one, that's all. But yeah,
so that was pointless saying that, then, wasn't it,
it was
Andrew?
pointless entirely. Yes, I'm just making myself out to be uncouth. People probably didn't even notice. It's one of those things where why even draw attention to the problem when nobody's noticed it in
Yeah,
the
so
first
stop it.
place?
Yeah, yeah. So how's your day been anyway?
Yeah, it's been all
Or
right.
how's everything going?
It's been a relaxing day today. Just been doing a bit of washing, a bit of housework, and all that, and just
Time
mainly
to lead
taking
up
it
to
easy.
Christmas.
Yeah, indeed. Oh gosh, yes, I need to start thinking myself about Christmas and all that. What am I going to
Yes, get
get
the old,
people?
have a lovely turkey dinner. That's what we love.
A turkey dinner. Why don't we have a pre-Christmas roundup instead, Phil? Instead of a
Pre-Christmas
post-Christmas one.
roundup. Oh, a
Yes,
pre-Christmas. Well, even though we're not even in December
we're
yet.
not even in
So there we
December.
go.
It's still November as of when we record this and all that, but there you go. Now, actually, I did have an interesting topic of conversation that I shared with you via WhatsApp just before the recording session, which you expressed a bit of interest in there, didn't you, Phil?
I did indeed. I did
Yes.
indeed. So yeah, we've
Yeah.
got an interesting sort of topic.
Yeah, and this, some of this may be sort of similar to things we've talked about before, but I think it's kind of interesting to kind of come back to it and maybe broaden it out a bit. But I was thinking recently about sort of books and things that I've read, and I was thinking initially maybe it's about just about doing a sort of book themed episode. But actually, then I thought actually the topic that I had in mind was a bit more specific than that, and so I came to the conclusion of making it something a bit more sort of targeted. And I thought about what sort of media franchises out there have you encountered which everyone else really raves about and really loves, but you could just never really get into them, or you just
It's an
found
interesting
that,
one.
yeah,
I don't think we've really done that generally, but yeah, we can think of all sorts of
yeah,
entertainment. So yeah, wideness. It doesn't have to be books. So we can think of films,
films,
TV
yeah,
shows, video games,
indeed,
other sorts of media that we can think
yeah,
of. If anyone in the comments has been to a theatre production,
indeed.
um,
You can
see
let
what you
us
think
know.
about that.
Yeah. So, I'll kind of start off with books because obviously that was how I sort of initially got onto this topic because, I always love a bit of reading every so often. I love to read books, so, I have an absolute mountain of them actually on my bedside table that I need to get through. And recently I was sort of thinking about a book that I actually read a couple of months ago. It was a book called After Me Comes the Flood by an author called Sarah Perry, which when I looked online about it, there were so many like really glowing critical reviews, things like that. People saying it was a really, really good book. It's a really good debut novel by this author, and so I bought it and I read it. And I have to say, I was very underwhelmed by it. I never really kind of understood what the point of the story really was. It just felt kind of like, so basically the premise of the story in this book is it's kind of written from the first person, and the main character basically one day decides that he just wants to kind of get away from his life, so he packs up his car and just goes driving, but then his car breaks down in a wood somewhere. He goes off looking for help, comes across this house where there's these sort of very eclectic bunch of inhabitants who seem to almost recognise him as though they expected him coming, and he basically ends up sort of living there with them and just sort of experiencing life with them, and then a bunch of stuff just sort of happens, and then the book kind of ends, and it's like, well, what was the point of all that? What? It just felt like a very underwhelming ending. Like, I don't know
That
if
didn't
the
feel like
point.
a really good storyline, did it?
No, it just sort of was like one of those stories that kind of was like setting itself up as though there was going to be this great mystery, but then I just felt like it didn't really kind of go anywhere. It was just kind of odd. It was just sort of exploring each of the characters and, just elements of their backstory. But no, like I say, I just came away from it thinking, okay, why though? Why did we just go through all of that? It was just really weird. Yeah, but it's like all the reviews I've seen of it from like critics have been sort of glowing and saying it's this great debut novel and all that, and I was just, I don't know, I kind of went away from it just underwhelmed. I was just like, yeah, sure,
Yeah, I can
yeah,
see why it might be.
yeah,
It's an interesting one. I'm just trying to think of books for myself. Oh God, it's there's a few books I've read, but I'm not as big a reader as I used to be. I
yeah,
did read quite a few books when I was a bit younger. I probably should get back into reading more books. I
yeah,
mean, I haven't been to my library for ages, and I had a library card, and I sort of gave up on it.
yeah.
But maybe I should start reading. But I think there are some Harry Potter books that
Back in the day, yeah,
there's loads of people that rave on the Harry Potter books and say, oh, they're amazing, oh, they're fantastic, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But there's some parts of it which are a bit naff.
yeah.
I must say, like the if you've seen the size of like the Order of the Phoenix book, for example,
It's
it's a
huge.
chunk
Yeah,
of a book.
it is.
And it sometimes just goes on and on about various different things, and I think, oh, okay, it just gets a bit
Yeah.
tedious after a while.
Harry
Yeah,
Potter. Yeah,
I think the Order of the Phoenix one is the biggest book.
yeah. I think so. I was gonna say, like, Harry Potter. It's one of those things that definitely when you're younger, it's quite magical, but the more you start to the more you start to ask questions about some of the kind of world building, I guess, in it, the more you start to think there's things in Harry Potter that kind of don't make a lot of sense. Just
Yeah,
weird
yeah, totally.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
remember you did an episode, didn't you? A
Oh
soothing Hunted
yes.
episode, yeah, called Harry Potter is weird or something.
Yeah. It is a bit.
Right.
It's like I'm sure there's great sort of videos here on YouTube that kind of deconstruct aspects of the Harry Potter universe and say why how does this make sense, or how does this work exactly. It's a kind of strange, or like just narrative choices, like if they have certain spells and things they do, then why did they feel the need to do such and such a thing, or stuff like that.
I'll also bring that over to
Yeah,
the same with the films as well.
yeah,
Some of the aspects in the films were a bit naff because they took bits out
yeah,
of the books. I know you have to, where you can't have everything because it takes up a lot of space.
yeah, runtime and all that.
Like obviously one of the things from the Chamber of Secrets one was Nick's death day party,
Oh yeah.
and that was completely in the films at all. That was
Yeah,
completely taken out, and there were bits from other the books in the film that were taken out. And the fact that they put the last one, the Deathly Hallows, wasn't it? They split that into two
oh
films. Come on,
yes.
yeah, they're just scrounging for money at that point.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I always think like adapting books into films is always challenging because obviously in a book, you've got all that page space to go into all kinds of detail, but then obviously in a film with a limited runtime, you have to sort of compress it down and like sacrifice stuff in order to focus on the key bits. But yes, yeah, so that's books. Just thinking like about other sorts of media as well, things that people rave about, and I just never really kind of saw what was so great. I mean, actually, I think we just recorded an FML episode And you in that you were mentioning actually a couple of Surrey Being Hunted episodes I've done in the past where I ragged on Doctor Who. I would say TV shows
Oh, of
wise, yeah,
course, yeah,
that's
Doctor Who,
definitely
yeah.
one.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, yeah,
that
that's
fits this
definitely one.
bill.
'Cause
Yeah,
loads of people adore Doctor Who.
yeah.
Absolutely, big time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There are certain Doctor Who episodes which I have seen, which actually I do like, and I do think they're enjoyable, or they had good atmosphere, good characters, interesting ideas and premises. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. For every sort of good aspect of Doctor Who, I feel like there's always like a couple of episodes that are just really naff and just really stupid and really weird.
You'll get that
Yeah.
with some, won't you?
Yeah.
There's a TV show. Oh God, dare I mention this? Might
Oh,
cause a lot of aggro.
go on.
That is a beloved franchise.
Go on,
But
let's have a hot
I've
take from
watched that.
Phil.
This is going to be an extremely hot take, yeah. But I wasn't too enamored with it. Oh God, here we go. Star Trek. What? Hello.
Ooh,
Did
Star
you hear
Trek.
something strange then?
Yeah.
I certainly didn't. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to say, Star Trek didn't really enamor me when I watched an episode. Don't know why. I know because that's unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of people
because
love it.
people love it. Oh my God, massive in love with it as well.
Yeah, I've said sometimes about how sometimes I've sometimes wondered about whether I should give it a shot because I've never really watched it before, and I sometimes wonder if it's kind of a bit like Doctor Who. Is it going to be one of those shows where the quality of episodes sometimes really fluctuates? Like there'll be some good ones,
Yeah.
but there'll be
I
other
think
ones
another
that
one for you was
yeah.
Friends, wasn't it?
Oh,
Friends can episode,
yeah.
can fluctuate. Yeah, because
Indeed.
Friends is obviously a big loved
Yeah.
TV show, and I think you said there were some
Yeah.
episodes that are a bit strange.
Yeah, R.I.P. of course Matthew Perry, the
Yes,
actor of
yeah,
Chandler
that's
Bing.
that was
Yeah.
very sad news. That
Indeed.
poor Matthew Perry was only like 53, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was actually not that old. But yeah, Friends, of course, was like one of those things that back in the 90s it was such a huge thing. But yeah, I certainly do remember that there were definitely episodes of it that were very funny. But I just have like vague memories of certain episodes where if they weren't as funny and they were obviously using laugh tracks and things like that to try and generate humour, and it was just like, nah, it didn't really work. But
Laugh tracks are always
yeah.
a funny thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you encounter those sort of comedy shows that don't have laugh tracks in it, you notice the difference straight away.
Yeah.
Some of them can be really. Someone can really take you out of it when you start doing it.
Yeah.
You're just watching it. Oh my God! All right.
That was quite a sound that you just produced there. Indeed, your robotic
And
laugh.
it's an audience
Yeah.
just sitting there, and I think they've got like an electronic sign that comes down and says "Laugh now."
Yeah, indeed. It's a funny thing though. I always wonder, like, with the history of TV production, when the first kind of comedy show was ever made, well, who had sort of the idea of actually putting in a laugh track or something like that? I mean, I can understand having an actual live studio audience who are laughing along to it, but yeah,
I think it's because
weird.
they were worried maybe that people wouldn't find where the comedy bits were.
Yeah,
So they put the laugh tracks in to sort of instigate, yeah, it's here. Here's where you should be laughing.
yeah, indeed. It's a strange thing, but yeah. Speaking of like comedy shows, another one that I've never, I don't know, really got into here in the UK is Mrs. Brown's Boys. You know that one?
Oh, that's popular, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
it's
a big
popular,
one.
but I don't know. Like, I can remember seeing a couple way back which were funny, but apparently, I don't know. Like other episodes I've seen from later just aren't that funny to me. I don't
Yeah, that's a
know.
big one.
Yeah,
But
another
to be
hit and
honest,
miss
there'll be things that other people don't find. Like obviously,
true.
big like comedy ones like Only Fools and Horses, Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah.
I mean, I love those. Those are phenomenal. But there'll be people out there go, nah,
Yeah,
no,
true.
not really for me.
I mean, humour is obviously very subjective.
Oh, big time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to think. Like there might be someone obviously like the famous scene from Only Fools and Horses where he falls through the bar. There
Yeah.
might be someone who's like,
I
really?
don't get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's always different ways of looking at things and all that. Yeah, I'm trying to think like other media as well.
But
other things
films,
out there.
obviously.
Films. Yeah,
Trying to think which is a big film.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mentioned the Harry Potter ones,
Yeah,
which is one. I think
indeed.
what other major films that people absolutely adore, but
Have I ever mentioned The
Don't
Men Who
really
Stare
think.
at Goats before as a movie that I could never sort of get into? I never really understood.
I've heard about that. I've never
Yeah,
watched that film actually.
yeah, that's one that I think like I can remember back when I was this is years ago, but back when I was still living up north with family, and we sort of tried watching that, and I don't know if maybe we'd misunderstood what it exactly was, but we were under the impression it was meant to be sort of a comedy, but it just felt kind of plodding. We didn't really maybe we misunderstood, but we were sort of just like kind of mystified by it. We weren't really sure if we were kind of getting out from it. So yeah, it's another one which people sort of I think is raised as a film that was quite popular and a lot of people liked
Yeah.
it, but we were just sort of about it. Indeed. So yes, that one right there.
I can't think because I don't watch a lot of films, but I
Yeah,
can't think of one that I'm really thinking that people love that I wasn't too fond of.
yeah,
Oh God, that is a big one.
yeah. I try not to go towards video games here because I know instantly I'm just going to say Outlast as an
Yeah,
example of a
like
video. Yeah, I've covered that.
you
I've done
know,
that to death before. Yeah.
I've got sort of one that we haven't really mentioned in the video game sort of sphere
Okay.
before. That it's so popular all over the place. And I've played it once. It's all right, but it's like it's not to the extent the sort of battle royale format.
Oh yeah.
Things like Overwatch and obviously
Yeah.
Call of Duty had one and Fortnite is right, okay, but it's not I don't think it's that super amazing.
Yeah.
It's essentially just a massive death match
Indeed.
and then obviously it closes in until there's only one left. Right,
Yeah.
okay, well, sort of format's been done before, but yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. The battle royale scene was just, I think it's died down now, but oh my god, did it hit off?
It did. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that actually. Because I think the thing is, I sometimes
Everyone
think
jumped
about.
on the bandwagon
Yeah.
because it was like bang, 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 and then Call of Duty never did it, and all of a sudden they brought in their own version, Warzone,
Yeah.
and then everyone started to sort of jump onto it.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I think sometimes it would be best sort of to do if you actually have some close friends who you can do it with. Whereas I think the idea of just doing it with random players doesn't appeal to me. But
Yeah,
yeah, that sort of
it
battle
sort of
royale
started.
type
The one who
game,
sort of
indeed.
popularised it with PUBG
Yeah.
or PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Probably also helps if you're actually good at shooters, because I can imagine myself going into a game like that and just getting absolutely annihilated constantly, because I'm not that great. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
can. But imagine if they did that for Wolfenstein. Oh, that would ruin it for you. A battle royale
Wolfenstein
format.
Battle Royale.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, we have Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which, granted, is not well,
in a way. Yeah.
in a way, sort of. Um, but yeah, I mean, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, I do like and enjoy.
Yeah,
Mainly
it's not
just
really battle because it doesn't
yeah,
like sort of closed in.
no. I mean, it's much more specific. That's obviously maps with objectives and things like that on them. So not quite a battle royale in the same sense as later games like Overwatch or PUBG or anything like that. But certainly, it's multiplayer combat. There you have it.
That was what
Yeah,
I was thinking. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the one for video games would be the. I've mentioned this a few times, so I'll just say quickly: Shadow of the Tomb Raider. 'Cause I
Oh
think that
yeah,
was loved
yeah.
by a lot of people, but that one didn't really. You obviously
Do it for
Outlast.
you. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like other video games that everyone sort of raved about, but which I
Oh,
just
it was
never really.
like MOBAs sort of
MOBAs.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but maybe I should, because I've properly tried them. Maybe I should give them a try.
Yeah.
But it just didn't really appeal to me, MOBAs.
Indeed.
Um,
Yeah.
so things like Dota and League of Legends and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But,
Yeah. League of Legends
should
and stuff
certainly
like
give it a
that.
try.
Yeah. It's one of those things which sometimes I look at it and think it would probably be interesting, but I think I've said this before. It's just like the reputation of their player bases is often that they are quite toxic, and it's just like,
Very
ugh,
toxic,
yeah.
yes.
Don't know if I have the
Like
patience.
if you do something slightly wrong.
Yeah.
What do you think you're doing, you stupid arsehole?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
all
the
right, give it a rest.
people who take it way too seriously. Indeed, indeed. Having said that, I'm pretty sure there is on Steam a League of Legends game that is actually single player. It's like a more story-based game. Maybe I should have a look at that sometime. I think I showcased it in
Oh,
one of my
there's
Steam
something,
reviews
yeah.
videos. Yeah,
There's something, it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's something, a League of Legends story.
yeah, something like
I
that.
can't remember what the title of it is, though.
Indeed. Maybe I should check it out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Indeed. And again, I say that about a lot of games, and I have so many of them that I need to get through.
What about I know a video game genre, right?
Oh, okay.
No, I thought it was a video game genre that everyone used to like sort of laugh at, but now is actually pretty
Ooh.
loved. I know
Yeah.
one is these sort of environmental narrative games, i.e.,
Yeah.
walking simulators, which is the derogatory term for it.
Yeah.
People used to laugh about, oh, well, what's this pile of shit and all this, but look at things like Dear Esther, Gone Home, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, What
Yeah.
Remains of Edith Finch. They're all
Indeed. They were
really,
pretty
really
good.
good now.
Yeah. I suppose actually that kind of leads us a bit to the sort of the reverse here, which is there anything that like you really love, but everyone else just sort of dislikes? Any like
Yeah,
guilty pleasures
I know.
in
Well,
that
actually, another
regard?
one on that one, the sort of things that used to have is simulation games, like
Yeah.
the funny ones. Like people do enjoy like Farming Simulator and especially the big one, Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
That one is loved, and the things like Power Wash Simulator and all that. And there's obviously that House Flipper game,
Yeah.
and that's well loved. And obviously in the past it was like viewed at what is this shite, but
Yeah.
now it's a lot of more people have got with it.
Yeah, it's funny because like back in the day, sort of like 2013ish, I do remember there being a flurry of like small, silly indie like meme games, which were all like weird simulators, like Toilet Simulator and stuff like that. And then
Goat
nowadays,
Simulator,
yeah,
Untitled Goose Game,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, Untitled Goose Game is actually a more recent one that's actually quite a fleshed out game. So I was going to say, yeah, but certainly in more recent years, it definitely feels like there's these sort of simulators and meme games that are now much more serious and have much more to them while still being kind of humorous.
It'll be good, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good that we've got that sort of mentality
indeed.
with these evolving things, and the fact that these environmental narrative games. That's the better term for them. Not walking
Yeah,
simulators is the derogatory term.
indeed.
Environmental narrative games.
Yeah. I was just thinking for a second on that subject of kind of the reverse, like things that you love but which fewer people seem to actually like, or everyone else seems to hate. I was about to say, I was about to say Death Stranding for a moment because that's obviously that sort of well, not walking sim, but there's a bit more to it than that. But certainly that's a game that is quite polarizing because there's a lot of people, myself included, who absolutely love it and they think it was a really good game. But there is equally, I think, a large number of people who it just wasn't for them.
Well,
And
yeah, oh
who
yeah.
are like,
That's
what was
well,
the
you know what
point
else
of it?
fits into
Yeah.
that category? You know what else fits in there? Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 it's really loved. But there are
Yeah.
things on the other side of the fence saying, oh, the story is way too long. There's no need for, because they actually got a lot more realistic action, such as
Yeah.
opening drawers. And it's a
Oh.
lot more realistic, and things are saying, oh, this is a bit too much. You don't need to simulate me watching this character slowly open the drawer to pick up some gold out of it.
Yeah.
So and then there's people saying the story's too long. But obviously, there's the other side thing. It's best game ever. Absolutely one of Rockstar's finest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, certainly would be a good example. Yeah.
And the famous, you probably heard of it, the horse testicles, because they go for the horse testicles shrinking in the snow.
Oh yeah, is that like a realistic
have you heard-
detail in it? I've
Yes,
heard
it's-
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Red Dead Redemption 2 has gone very realistic. They've tried to go, so it's what they've sort of like got a little bit ragged on, and the horse testicle thing was the thing that many people have gone for, sort of meme style.
Yeah.
For the fact that they actually shrink when you go into like the snowy cold conditions.
Yes, a little too realistic, maybe.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I
Yeah.
think that sometimes, but I would say some like visual novel games sometimes are ragged on and saying, "Oh, this is just me watching like a book."
Yeah, reading a book but in video game form. I'll admit, I've played a few visual novels. I have a few in my Steam library that I do sometimes play from time to time, and there are definitely some kind of average and mediocre ones, but every so often you do get a diamond in the rough one that's actually really,
Absolutely,
really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are some visual novels that are basically it's just reading a book and there's hardly any gameplay. But there are some that really stand out, and
Yeah. Indeed. There's one in my Steam library that I played called Chemically Bonded, which is basically a pretty bog standard like romantic visual novel, and honestly it was just the most average game I think I've ever played.
Yeah,
it was just
I mean-
it wasn't
I mean-
bad, but it wasn't great either. It was just pretty middle of the road, to put it that way. The most visual novel of visual novels.
yeah, some have just
yeah.
nothing. But then you got some like, even though they don't have like Danganronpa,
Yeah.
Of course, because it's still got the visual novel element. I mean, there's not much animation that goes on in it,
Yeah.
but well, obviously like the death scenes when the
Yeah.
Clash Trials, but when you see that, there's quite a bit of animation there.
Yeah.
But the thing about that which really makes it stand out is the fact of the murder mysteries.
Yeah, it's actually
That's
got
what really
more
makes
to
it.
it. Yeah, because it's actually got more actual gameplay mechanics than just scrolling through text
Yeah,
and things like
like
that.
Doki Doki Literature Club, because that's got a dark twist to
Yeah,
it. You think because you go into it going, oh well, this is just a normal bog standard visual novel. Oh no, 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 no,
yes,
it's not.
turns out to be so much more. There is actually a Doki Doki Literature Club Plus on Steam, which I can't remember if I bought it or not.
Ooh.
Yeah, but apparently it just has more content in it, so that might be
Isn't
something
there
I
a
have to
game
take a look
called
at.
Doki Panic?
I
I believe
don't
there's a game called
know.
Doki Doki Panic.
Maybe there is. Yeah, there probably are other games that have Doki Doki in the title, since it's like, I suppose isn't Doki Doki supposed to be kind of the thing in anime that's supposed to be like the onomatopoeia for like a heartbeat, something like that.
Ah, is it?
I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's what it is. I'm sure I've heard that's
There are
what it
some
is.
people who have a bit of a rag on some like wide open sandboxes, like
Yeah.
they're too big and not doing. There are, to be understandable, there are some games where there's just nothing in the world. Like I think
Yeah.
there's a famous driving game called Fuel, and the map size is humongous, but there's nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
basically nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that can annoy some people.
Indeed. Yes. If you're going to do an open world game, devs out there or aspiring devs, make sure you do fill it with some interesting stuff to actually
Yeah.
do.
Well, to be fair, some people do even rag on Minecraft.
Yeah.
Go, what's this? It's a bit blocky. It's supposed
Whilst
to be like
missing,
that.
yeah, that's precisely
Yeah.
the point. Indeed.
And the fact that you can do what you want as well.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. No, I'm just getting back to guilty pleasures or things that um, everyone else loves or that whilst I dislike or
What about the
other
music
way around.
field?
The music
The
field,
music
eh?
field, yeah. Everyone seems to love, but you're not too fond. I know
Yeah.
that one is there's one big one, the heavy metal.
Yeah, I think
I'm
there's
not
certain,
really a fan of heavy
yeah,
metal. That's a big
genres.
one.
Yeah, that definitely a lot of people love, but you or me, we don't really like. I mean, everyone obviously has their tastes and all that. So I think we've obviously talked about like music genres before in our Q&As, like just ones that don't do it for us. So like heavy metal for you. Or like genres, that we wouldn't necessarily choose ourselves. So things like maybe, I don't know, like gangster rap or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Although I don't mind a bit of like Eminem from time to time or something
Yeah.
like that. But not like the full on gangster rap, just the sort of light rap, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's okay with me.
I mean, to be honest, and this may be kind of sacrilege for a lot of people, because again, a lot of people love it, but there's a lot of like just pop music out there that just doesn't do it for me, because to me, a lot of it sounds so similar. I'm going to sound like such an old man as I'm saying this, but yeah, elements of pop music.
To be fair, there are
Yeah.
some that do sound quite similar,
Yeah.
but nothing's going to nothing will take away your Nicki Minaj.
Nicki
No,
Minaj.
she's your ultimate
Yes.
pop singer.
My ultimate pop singer.
That pop you'll be fine with.
Yes, Phil always likes to make this joke, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm a big Nicki Minaj fan. But
Watch her go to every concert, pay for all the tickets. you're on Ticketmaster every day.
Oh, dear.
Looking for when the latest Nicki Minaj concert is. You're like, oh, for God's sake, it's in Los Angeles this year. Oh, for God's sake, right, I'm going to have to try and organise some plane tickets.
oh dear, yes, indeed, yes. My Anaconda don't want none, Phil, unless we got tickets
Oh,
on
no.
Ticketmaster, hun.
No, don't do that. Don't go there.
The only reason I make jokes about Nicki Minaj is because it was such a meme when that song came out about the Anaconda and all that.
Isn't it? Yeah, no,
Yes.
it's such a great little song.
Yeah.
Just think about all the forms of media we have.
Yes, so we do like films, TV shows, games, music, books. What else? I was going to say
There's obviously theatre, but
theatre.
I don't
Yeah,
think we tend to
don't
do
really
that a
know.
lot.
No, I don't know that. I don't know enough theatre to be able to comment on that, because the only plays I've ever been to have been admittedly entertaining ones. But yes, indeed. I was thinking maybe like sort of. I
What
try to
about
think.
general entertainment?
General
Not like that. Things like, when people who like hill hiking.
Yeah,
There's people who like doing like bungee jumping, skydiving. There's people who like going swimming.
yeah.
Just deep water swimming. These are entertainment activities that you
Yeah.
do.
So yeah, yeah. Let's move it beyond then just media. Let's go to entertainment activities as well. My immediate thought was like nightclubbing, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I have
yeah, I'm
done it
with you on that
before.
one. I'm not a big
Yeah,
nightclubber.
but yeah, I'm not big into it because I think it's very much something you do when you're younger for the most part.
Yeah.
As I've got older,
Oh,
yeah.
back in my day, we just went down to disco and we left it at
Discotheque.
that. We were home by 9 p.m. in bed and in bed by 9:10.
There you go. Wow, that's very quick. Yes. In my day,
Oh,
we used to go to the
nightclub.
dance
No,
floor,
totally,
do our John
totally nightclub.
Travolta impersonation, and then go home. That was it. Yeah.
One thing is all the extreme sports. I can't really.
Yeah.
No, not for me.
Not for you.
Bungee jumping, skydiving, hot air ballooning, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much.
Not for E.
Parkour.
Yeah, parkour. You never said that you want to just take a random, very risky jump from two high-story buildings, one to the
mate.
other, Phil.
On the other side, though, there are some people who really don't like just relaxing and chilling out on the beach.
Yeah.
There's some people who go, "Oh, it's just you're just lying there. It's boring."
Yeah.
No, it's nice to just have a little, relax on the sand, and then when you feel like it, get up and walk into the sea and have a
Yeah.
little play around, and then usually beaches have a little beach bar, so you can go get yourself an ice
Yeah.
cream.
Indeed.
Um,
Get yourself an ice cream and a drink, something like that.
what
Yeah.
I absolutely love is like when you get your own villa with your own pool. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
heaven!
Yeah.
It's just heaven. That.
Indeed. Yes.
Oh, actually, there's some people who don't like what we tend to do. When it's like Germany, museums and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's a big. Oh, I
Different
forgot about
tastes.
Yeah, that's a big entertainment thing.
Yeah.
Museums. Yeah, there's some people who find museums boring, which I really don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can be a big thing. Go and see like historical things.
Yeah.
Like seeing like old churches and things
Depends
like
on your
that.
taste, yeah. I mean, me and you,
Exactly.
obviously we love our museum trips and things like that, or going, or
I can understand going to
Yeah.
see like things like. Yeah, like Dachau or things like that.
Yeah.
That may, certainly not be up to people because it could cause a lot of stress for some
Yeah.
people, especially if you had like grandparents or parents who are
Relatives,
who were in the
yeah.
war. Yeah,
yeah. But tastes, they change person to person. Indeed. But
I
yeah.
did watch way back. I watched a documentary about it was about it was a documentary on concentration camps.
Yeah.
And this Jewish prisoner went back to the concentration camp he was held in.
Yeah.
And he looked back at it, and he was with the presenter.
Yeah.
And the presenter was with him, and they were just outside it, and he was standing there and he was like explaining what happened to him and all the
Yeah.
horrificness he went through, and he basically started crying.
Yeah.
And they said, "Do you want to go in?" And he was like, "No, I
No.
don't."
Yeah, too much. That indeed, yes. Can fully understand why he would have had an emotional reaction like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but those are little entertainment things that
Yeah.
something that I love, but actually I think it is loved by a lot of people. I was going to say like a water park.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a big fan of a water park, are you?
Not hugely.
Or theme park.
No, it's not something. Yeah, it's not something I typically have really ever did myself. It wasn't something. I mean, I know obviously when I was like a teenager, for instance, plenty of my friends would go to like theme parks or water parks and things like that. But I was just always sort of like, yeah, not really that interested in them. And sometimes I would only ever really go just because everyone else is going, and just thought, well, it's a day out. Indeed.
Go to a water. Yeah, I did like some water parks, especially going down the slides and everything. It was fun.
Yeah.
And then going for a swim, especially with the big slides.
Yeah. Indeed.
There was one slide near me where it was a sort of like alien spaceship.
All right.
And what you do is you go through a slide, and then the slide deposits you inside the spaceship, and you basically go round and round the edge, and there's like a hole at the bottom. You're just going round and round and
God,
round until you
yeah.
get closer and closer to the hole.
Like a
and then
plug
you just
hole.
fall. Yeah, and then you just fall through. It's pretty fun actually.
Okay. Yeah. Indeed. Phil likes being taken down the plug hole.
Oh, excuse me. Beg your
What?
pardon.
I beg your pardon.
Well, the funny thing about it was because it was like the inside of that of the spaceship bit was like really big,
Yeah.
and the slide you're in that got to the spaceship bit was like narrow, and all of a sudden you're in this tiny space, and bang, massive open. Oh my god! And you're slowly going towards the center.
Yeah. I mean, that does sound like a
Well, I
good
mean,
sort of design.
the whole point of it is you're trying to stop yourself from inching close to the center. You're trying to put your hands and feet, but of course
Yeah.
you can't grip anything because there's just water constantly going around.
Indeed.
And water's
Yeah.
notorious for not being easy to grip.
You can't grip water, Phil. You never grab onto water. That sounds like
And
a
and
skill
the
issue. That does to me.
yeah, it is a big skill issue.
Yeah. Indeed. Sorry, were you going to say something else then?
No, no, it's just the inside. I was just saying the inside was slippery as well.
Yeah.
So, but it was a fun little thing. They're always in there. I remember in like swimming pools and water parks. Do you remember those mushroom things that always had water
Oh
coming off like a
yeah.
fountain? And
Yeah.
you went in it and out it and everything. Yeah, or like the
Yeah.
sandcastle in Blackpool
Oh
with
yeah.
that massive coconut thing
Oh yeah.
that spilled water like every. Well, it had to wait ages for it to fill up.
Yeah.
It was like basically everyone. It was a massive coconut that filled right to the brim with water, and as soon as it was ready to go, everyone rushed to get underneath it, and then it
Yeah.
spilled on
Indeed.
everyone.
Yeah.
But it would take ages to fill up.
Yes, and make sure you hold on to your swim shorts as it comes down on you, because
Yeah.
the force it comes down, literally, it can take your fucking clothes off. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really. There was some
Yes.
interesting slides there. There was the like a big sort of one that looked like a skateboard ring.
Yeah.
It's like a skateboard half pipe thing.
Yeah.
And you went up and down. It called the
Oh
side.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I've had vague memories of it. It's like
Yeah.
you'd get on a rubber ring, and then the lifeguard would sort of like push you over the edge, and you'd like up and down it. Yeah.
There was also that big slide, the Master Blaster,
Oh
which
yes.
was like it had jets in it, jets of water that basically
Carry you
basically
along.
pushed you along.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. That did my back in.
Oof. Yes.
They were so powerful that it hurt my back severely.
Ouch.
So I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, indeed. The thing is, like, water parks, I think, are interesting. It's just, I'm more of like a guy who, when I go swimming, either, I like to do lengths, or I just like to relax in the water rather than doing slides and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
big entertainment though.
indeed. I'm more a lazy river kind of guy, to put it that way.
Oh God, I remember the Lazy River.
Yeah, you just
they are
slowly
fun.
float along, just relaxing.
You're
Yeah,
like
this is the life.
with a pina colada in your
In one
hand.
hand, yes. Oh dear, yeah.
What is it? What is it made out of? I think it's got pineapple in it, hasn't it? And some alcohol. Is it rum? Is it
I don't
pineapple
know,
and rum?
actually.
Pina colada. Well, let's find out.
You can Google it.
Okay, Google. What is in a pina colada?
1 part coconut cream,
Okay.
1 ounce, 1 part white rum and 3 ounces, 3 parts pineapple juice.
Okay, so I was right. So it did have rum and pineapple juice. in
Okay.
it. So I did get that, but it's also got coconut cream.
I
So
see.
coconut cream, white rum, and pineapple juice. Yeah.
Nice.
So I did get two out of 3 right there.
Yeah, see, Phil knows his various alcoholic drinks and cocktails. No, he doesn't.
Even though I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know really anything about cocktails. If you ask me to identify the components of some, type of cocktail, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'd have no idea.
And there's
I'd be
all sorts of,
floundering.
and then they put up really fancy names, like the Super Raspberry Smash Bang.
Yeah.
Okay, I just called it a raspberry cocktail, but thank you.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah, I suppose actually that's something else. Things that people love, which I just not really am into. Cocktails, things like that. Various different types of
Yeah,
alcoholic
well-
drinks. There you go. Another thing right there. It's not really media, but it's sort of relating in with just leisure and yeah.
Sometimes I'm just thinking, yeah, a lot of people, although it sort of died down, but sometimes going to the cinema.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people do love going to the cinema, but I'm just like, I
Yeah.
might just wait until it comes on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes being in a cinema is nice, but then you're waiting through all the fucking adverts.
Yes.
And as soon as the adverts are finished for normal things, then come on the adverts for upcoming movies, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh god,
You wait
it's like
that
waiting
million
half an hour
years.
for all the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I think like going to the cinema, it is something that sometimes I think can be enjoyable if you just want an evening out with friends or something, and it can be all right to do, especially if it's a film that you're particularly interested in seeing. But yeah, I think for me it has to be a film that I'm particularly interested in seeing, and I have to have some like good company with me. and
Funny
then I'll
thing
get
is, in
something out
cinema,
of it.
you know when the film's about to start because it puts the age restriction up.
Yeah,
Yeah, this has been certified for the cinema for 15 and up. And
indeed.
you're like, oh, finally, here we go.
Here we go. Yes, indeed. I don't know why I just went Mario for a second then, but
Here we go. Cinemas.
here we go. Let's go to the cinema.
Good cinema.
With the
Right, well,
Princess
I
of
think
Peach.
we've had a good episode there.
Yeah.
And we've talked about quite a few interesting media things that are very well loved, but we're not too fond of. And then we did do a little bit the other way around as well.
Yeah.
Things that people are not too fond of, but we like ourselves.
Indeed, yes. So yeah, that was a good little episode there. Nice sedate one for you all. So I hope you all enjoyed watching that, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy Phil?
So you're being hunted. We didn't do much of that. And you didn't have that many robots firing at you.
No.
So there you go.
Well, I think there's only a few hunters around on this island. Well, Facebook Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, I like as always appreciating all that jazz. But that, this is the one of us, myself, signing off. Phil, you're just here in the game forever now. Goodbye, everybody.
No, I'm trapped. Help me.
Not to scream.